Good evening. This is the Wednesday, December 10th Planning Board meeting. Please welcome everyone. Please join us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, yeah. Looks like we got the flagpole fixed. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our last meeting of the year. I will open the Citizens Open Forum at this point. Is there anyone in the audience wish to speak on any item not on the agenda, except for public hearing? Seeing none, close the public hearing. A swearing in process. Anyone wishing to speak to any public hearing notice at the public hearing tonight, please raise and swear in. Please rise and swear in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Agenda item number 1, approved minutes from November 12th. I seek a motion on this item.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the November 12th, 2025 meeting.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I seek a vote. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None heard. Minutes are accepted. We will now, item number 2, consider the excused absence of November 12th meeting of Stephen. I seek a motion on this excused absence
I'll
request.
make a motion, we make the absence excused.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Stephen is excused. Thank you very much.
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
in response to that, can I ask a question? Or not?
What?
Where did it come from that we had to go through this excuse thing?
Because if you miss 2 meetings, you're out.
I know that. I know, we've already done that,
That's
but
why
are we already, but
Unless they're excused.
he sent in an email.
I know.
And said, I'm not going to be here, and I'm going to be there for that reason. Okay, so now, we have to come here tonight, and we have to say, oh, well, should we, let's just not excuse that absence.
Post-excusal? I know. I don't get it. It's
This-
ridiculous. I
This
agree.
doesn't make any sense to me. Where did it come from? Why do we have to do this?
The draconian rules created by
Robert?
somebody that's modifying our behavior as a board. And I find them draconian and unacceptable, but they were all approved by council, so we got to do it.
So this did come from council.
They approved the code, the new codification of the way the planning board behaves and everybody's absences. And the worst one is the leisure services. They have 4 meetings a year. If you miss, what, 1 or 2, you're gone.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah.
how do you even, but we're volunteers, and I don't think this is
Yeah,
Right.
I just felt like it's not necessary.
And that's why I do it like this, to say, you're gonna miss a meeting, not a problem, you're a volunteer, we're gonna excuse you.
yeah.
And that's the way I, as chair,
Well, I'm just,
tongue in cheek, if you will.
it just doesn't make any sense to me, but that's enough.
Good
I've
practice
caused
for
enough
hitting the
trouble.
gavel. Yeah, and thank you, and I agree with you 100%, but, okay. Let's see now, where were we?
Item 3.
Thank you. Okay, item number 3 on tonight's agenda is CA 2509 Code Amendments for the City of Oldsmar Land Development Code LDC, amending Articles 8, Public Works Utility by LDC by revising Section 8.4, Water Distribution System. This is a public hearing. The applicant is the City of Oldsmar. Tatiana, welcome and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Good evening. Tatiana Childress, City of Oldsmar Planning and Redevelopment Director. So this item today is case CA 2505, Water Distribution System Design Standards Update to the City of Oldsmar Land Development Code. So this is a city-initiated request to amend the City of Oldsmar Land Development Code, Article 8, Section 8.4, Water Distribution System, to update design, construction, and testing standards per the Florida Fire Prevention Code and NFIP guidelines. This amendment was reviewed against the three conditions outlined in Section 3.13.2 of the Land Development Code. And I have a slight background here and also a little note here. So during the original list of the proposed changes that you saw in your staff report that was transmitted to you was slightly modified, and that was due to Senate Bill 180. So the city attorney determined that several provisions were more restrictive and therefore cannot be adopted until after October 1st, 2027, per that Senate Bill 2027. So those more restrictive items, they will be postponed and presented to you at a later time. And the amended key revisions, they only include updating the fire protection references from the outdated ISO standards to the Florida Fire Prevention Code, and also allowing for the 6-inch water main for hydrants connections where the fire flow demands are met. So from your the staff report, you see that on the second page where you see the key revisions. So everything else that is proposed in the original report is not being presented tonight. So the first condition, this amendment complies with the comprehensive plan and advances the purpose of the Land Development Code. The amendment will provide clear guidance for staff and developers. The current Land Development Code requires an 8-inch minimum water main, while the current minimum industry standards allow 6-inch mains. So this amendment would allow administrative approval of the 6-inch water mains for fire flow calculations and pressure test per section 8.2.32 when the pressure test per section 8.4.2.3 are met. The amendment will contribute to promote the community welfare. The proposed LDC amendment updates the city's water distribution standards to meet the current fire prevention requirements. And this amendment will not grant a special privilege to an individual property owner, as this amendment will be applied uniformly to all applicants throughout the city. We have our recommended motion. So we recommend that the City Council adopt an ordinance amending the City of Oldsmar Land Development Code, Article 8, Public Works Utility, by revising Section 8.4, Water Distribution System, to update standards for design, construction, and testing in accordance with the Florida Fire Prevention Code. And we're submitting the updated staff report into record.
That's all you got, huh?
That's all that we have tonight.
All that blue
Yes.
strikeouts in this document.
So we have another section that is just kind of like a paragraph formatting in there. You see how we just changed the presentation of the ordinance, but the only changes that we're voting again, and here when the calculations and the pressure tests are met, so per section 8.2.3.2, that's when we're going to allow the 6-inch water main.
Okay. Does the board have any questions of staff, starting with Jessica tonight?
Well, I was curious if we're aware, are there any properties within the city that are currently not meeting these standards that need to come into compliance? Just wondering.
So in the language of the ordinance, so you'll see that for those projects that were approved, where the infrastructure projects were approved prior to January 1st, 2026, the administrative code will be applied as long as the pressure test and the calculations are met. So
And if it's
as
not
long as
met?
they've been met, so
Okay.
so they've been recorded,
Okay.
and we do have the fire chief with us tonight. Yes, so I can take all the questions, and then if we have any remaining questions, I do believe that Jason Schwabe can also
Okay.
answer any questions. So
That was- that's
since
all.
the requirement was for an 8-inch, so the pressure test, I believe, was the most important part here. So, and then we're making the amendments to the code so that moving forward, we're consistent. And for the ones that are currently under construction, they're going to be approved administratively as long as the pressure test is sufficient.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Stephen Sock, your turn.
Yeah, I was going to have a question along the same lines. I think might be the same answer, whether there's going to be work required to bring it up to code, and how much.
No, this will be only applied for the future project. So if you review the ordinance, the section 6 of the amended ordinance, or section 7 of the prior ordinance that you have in your, so it has the effective date, and it also has provisions to address those projects that are currently under construction or
New permits.
the infrastructure. Those permits for the infrastructure permits were issued prior to January 1st, 2026, yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Harvey, have any questions for staff?
The older I get, the slower I get, so I want to make sure that I understand this correctly. You have not yet identified where these changes need to be made.
We're not looking for those changes, so moving forward, the industry standard is the minimum of 6-inch water main, and a lot of a lot of developers, they're looking for ways how to save money. So if the industry standard is 6 inches, and then our code is more restrictive, or we have higher standards locally, asking for 8, as long as the pressure test is met, then we could approve the 6-inch water main. So they will have to produce to us the calculations. So the design engineer will have to supply the calculations at the time of the permitting, demonstrating that whatever he designed with the 6-inch water main will actually meet the pressure. So it's before even the pressure test is done. The pressure test is kind of like an inspection, verifying that the design is validated. So basically.
Okay, then I guess I do understand it. You have a pressure test before you can determine whether or not it meets standards.
No, the standard is set by the code. The minimum standard is 6. Your design professional will design the entire water main and will determine that, okay, this size for this many units or for this type of development, this many stories, of the building is going to be sufficient. So that's why they have civil engineers on these larger projects. So they are the ones that design water flow calculations. So at the time of the permit, they will transmit to us saying that, okay, for this project, the 6-inch they're demonstrating with the calculations that it's sufficient. We're taking this, saying that it's coming from the professional, and then the industry standard is at the time of, after you install it, so they have to pass a pressure test
Okay.
during construction.
So basically what I hear is this is, we're going forward. In other words, we're looking
Yes.
at new construction.
Yes.
So what about areas that say they don't meet the pressure test? Do we have to, you gonna go back and redo those?
They've all passed pressure tests, so prior projects, otherwise, yes, during the inspection. So otherwise, they wouldn't be CO'd. Otherwise, the certificate of occupancy wouldn't be issued to them, wouldn't have been issued to them. So this is just moving forward. So think of it as fences. We allowed maybe only 3.5-foot fences in the front, and now we're allowing 6-foot fences in the front, the opposite, as long as you're not violating. So it's the same concept. It's located, this section is located in the land development, maybe not the best connection to the fences. So let me think of another engineering. So your drainage calculations would be similar type of permit. So a civil engineer designs your site and makes sure that all the water that is captured from that site is going to drain into the pond, and the pond is big enough to accommodate all that water. So,
But if you go down into downtown Oldsmar
yes.
and you do the pressure test and it fails, are you going to, do we dig those up and put new pipes in? I guess what I'm really worried about is the fact that, how much construction are we talking about having to be done here, or are we?
We're talking about future construction, and we're talking about just reducing it to the minimum design standards that are industry standards. And it's only from the minimum of 6 inch, from 8 inch that's specified in the code to a 6 inch. So we're not gonna go to other projects and check to see if they meet all the pressure tests. They do it at a fire, they've done those projects and they've been inspected. So fire, they do have routine maintenance testing on those. And I can refer to the fire. Yes, so we have.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Jason Schwalbe, Fire Chief. Yeah, so we do a final flow test before there's a certificate of occupancy for anything. So past projects have already been flow tested, and we know that they meet the standard. And then we also do some annual testing of hydrants throughout the year, just so we know what the, how much gallons per minute we get out of the hydrants. So they're tested pretty much annually, but everywhere that's already in place has already been approved and meets the standard that's in the code now. And the flow standard's not changing, it's just the 6-inch line is changing. So it's 1,250 gallons per minute is the standard, that's the same. It's what has been approved in past projects, and it's been verified in past projects. So there should be nowhere in the city that this affects, to where we would have to dig up the pipe and put in different pipe. So really, anywhere in the city, everywhere in the city has at least 6-inch pipe right now. So if it didn't meet the standard, it'd have larger pipe anyway. So it's, there's not anything else that we would do in that situation.
So, again, like I said, the older I get, the
Yeah.
slower I get. Do I understand you to say that we already meet these standards?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I'll stay up here in case there's any other.
Thank you, Jason.
Done, Bob?
I'm done, yeah.
Jim? Welcome to the dais.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Tatiana, how's it going? Question, so a 6-inch main is like about this big, but then an 8-inch main is like considerably larger. It's almost like double the amount. Does this affect like safety? Like, because it's a lot of like water that can like, go through the pipe.
Yeah, so again.
I know
this
it's the
is,
same amount of pressure.
Yeah, so this is a minimum standard that's set in the National Fire Protection Association code. So 6 inches, nationally, it's in our Florida Fire Prevention Code as a minimum standard. So Brian, what's the gallonage of 6-inch pipe? Yeah, so it's, you're gonna get more water out of an 8-inch pipe, and there is a provision in the code that if we think during construction that it needs a higher fire flow, we can require them to put a larger pipe in. So
Got it.
again, it's just setting the minimum standard. So it all depends on,
Yeah.
During our review of the infrastructure, again, if we think it needs more fire flow than the 1,250, and we calculate that off of the building and the building size and, our access and ability to get to the building. So we would require an 8-inch or larger. I mean, there's some situations in the code that we can require up to 12-inch.
Got it.
So, yeah.
So, I'm asking the question because sometimes things get smaller just because it's cheaper.
Yeah, certainly.
So in terms of like your line of work, is it easier when you see an 8-inch main? Or is it like, or when you see a 6-inch main, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, this is gonna require more flow.
I can tell you the firefighters don't have any idea what size main is in there. They just know
Gotcha.
there's a fire hydrant that works.
Okay,
So, like when we go through again, for myself and Brian, when we review the infrastructure plans, like we're on top of it, but, we would require something larger if we thought that it needed it.
totally.
Yes, again, 6 inches kind of a minimum standard for, nationally, and then Florida has adopted that.
Got it.
Yeah.
That was my question. Thank you.
Your turn.
My question is, I think the word apart is missing in one of these. So number 4A, where it talks about single-family residential subdivisions, and it talks about the distance. Under 8.4.2.3, fire protection system flow. And then number 4, fire hydrants, A, single family. And I think it should say shall not exceed 750 feet apart and shall be connected to water mains, no less than 6 inches in diameter.
Yeah, 750 crossed out and 500 added, and this says 750 on the revision.
Right. And
Which is right, Tatiana? The 750 or the 500?
So again, so the only two items that we're presenting are the 8-inch to 6-inch,
Oh,
okay.
and the changes from ISO to
never
the
mind.
Florida Fire Prevention Code standards. Everything else stays the same, and again, we'll present this to you at a later time.
Okay.
That's why you only have the updated ordinance, so I did not produce another strike-through underline because there's not that many changes in there. So the ordinance is what's going to be transmitted to the council for approval, the one that I transmitted to you, the latest one.
Any more questions, Lynette?
Nope, thank you.
Tanya, your turn?
Thank you for catching that.
I have two questions, and I'm not very familiar with the pipe and the flow, so what would be the difference in the flow, changing the pipe from 6 to 8? Will that help the fire department to shoot down the fire quicker? Do we have, I know we're gonna have a bigger flow of water, but the results of that are going to be what exactly?
There's a difference between
We're talking about
volume
pressure.
and pressure.
Yes, the smaller the
you
pipe,
know.
the
Smaller
higher
the
the
pipe,
pressure, actually.
we have higher pressure.
Yeah, and with a bigger pipe, you get greater volume, and that would be my question too, you
Yeah,
know, and
exactly.
I've been waiting my
It's gonna be the
turn.
pressure, okay.
Yeah, larger pipe's gonna provide you more volume, the smaller is more pressure, so, yeah, again, during infrastructure review, we make sure that whatever these hydrants are feeding has adequate pressure for the building that's in that area. So if we think it's gonna need a greater volume, then we would require them to put in a larger pipe,
Larger pipe.
yeah.
My second question is, are there any negative aspects that involve this change?
No, again, it's a minimum standard that's recognized through the National Fire Protection Association, so it's, if we went lower than that, then yeah, we wouldn't be meeting recognized standards, but, moving down to 6-inch, we're one of the only municipalities that require higher than that, so, yeah, at the moment.
Thank you. No other questions? All right, so you had said, sir, that most of the pipes in Oldsmar are 6 already?
There's I don't want to say most. There is a wide variety of neighborhoods that have 6-inch in them. And again, they've been in the ground for decades. I don't know when they were approved or how they were approved, when it switched from how long it's been an 8-inch requirement and, if in the past somebody's approved it around the code. But yeah, when we started looking into it, there's got to be at least 15 neighborhoods that have 6-inch in them now. Yeah.
And we haven't had any trouble. Well, we haven't had
No.
many fires.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, like I said, we test the hydrants annually, and nothing's fallen below the minimum flow requirements. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my concern, was flow versus PSI, and
Yeah.
and you're saying that you don't really need that much in a single-family neighborhood, according to this. It's the lowest requirement,
Yeah.
so our houses will go up quicker.
Nah, they just don't need as much water on them. You could put out a room and contents fire with like 2 gallons of water, so.
Well, I don't have any other questions because, sure, okay, I don't see why not, kind of.
If you're serving as, you're an alternate, correct, I believe? Yeah, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, but I believe the city's rules of procedure permit you to engage in discussion, that would be fine.
I was just curious where you determine where to put the fire hydrants. That's all, just after reading that long document.
Oh.
I was curious.
Yeah, so again, the engineer record designs it, and we just verify that they're meeting the distance requirements. So they determine where they are, and if we see something that we don't think will function, as for our response, we may have them switch from one side of the street to the other, because we don't want to block the street from other units coming in behind us. We just look at, how they would work with our response. And all that's determined at infrastructure permitted.
The only other question I have is when you're gonna paint the hydrants again? In 15, 17 years.
Yeah?
Mine's looking a little rusty. I was gonna paint it myself, but I don't know
Yeah.
what code requirements are, yellow and white?
Yeah.
Can I go red and
With a green
green?
cap. No, yellow with a white bonnet and a green cap. I don't have an answer for you. That's either, not sure that's our responsibility or Public Works, so we'll have to.
I remember seeing a whole bunch of guys with paint cans
We
wandering
used to
down the
years
street,
ago.
just slopping
Yeah.
the paint. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's hung in there, but
Yeah.
I think it needs to be addressed, and I don't know by whom.
Yeah, I'll have to
I know it was off topic.
discuss that
but-
with our Public Works Director. so.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, yep.
I have no further questions. So we finished questions of staff. I will open the public hearing at this time. Does anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this topic? Seeing none, I will close the wait a minute. I will close the public hearing. Have we received any written comments?
No.
Reading none. The applicant wishes to make a closing statement? No, Tatiana sat down, so she's done with that. I will close the public hearing, which I just did. I seek a motion on this item.
Chairman, I move that we recommend that the city council adopt an ordinance amending the City of Oldsmar Land Development Code, Article 8, Public Works Utility, by revising Section 8.4 as presented today.
Thank you. A second, please. Okay, any discussion, any further discussion on the board? Anybody got any questions, answers? Nothing? All right, roll call vote, please.
Board Member Villafana?
Yes.
Board Member Stock?
Yes.
Board Member Harvey?
Yes.
Board Member Mascarenas?
Yes.
Board Member Dingman?
Yes.
Board Member Kirby?
Yes.
Chair Randier?
Did you say something?
Yes, I did. I said
Oh,
yes.
yes, sorry.
Thank you.
Hearing
Motion
aid
passes
broke.
7-0.
Thank you. Well, that's that. Item number 4, Chair and Vice Chair elections. Any nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate you for chairman of the planning board for the upcoming year.
Well, I'll humbly accept it, but does anybody else want to play? Nope.
I'll second that.
Oh, man, you guys you just keep leaving me play with this thing.
Yeah.
Had I been replaced, I would have retired, but, okay, well, I accept it. You guys just want to do a roll call, because there's no ballot if there's just me.
We don't need to have roll call. I think it's by acclamation since there's no other nomination.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it, you idiot. Okay, Vice Chair. Nominations for vice. You want out, or you want to stay? You're usually always here.
Okay,
But
yeah,
sometimes-
I know. However, I think that we have, 3 new female members? I think we need to have one of the female members.
I agree.
So, I would like to, gosh, which one would I nominate?
Close your eyes and do this.
Yeah, Lynette. I'd like to nominate Lynette for vice chair.
I would second that.
I double second. Yes, sir. So there's no vote, so you want to do it?
Sure.
Yay!
Don't be afraid. You see how I stumble and still manage to keep a smile, and you always have this.
Which I believe is right in here.
You should have received a copy. Have you received a copy? Very good, and you have a copy. So, and what we've done in the past is alternate one always sat in a vacant seat, and alternate two just got to sit out there and never get to play. So we tried to get your feet wet today. So we may go back to the old way
Totally.
where you, but I kind of think the rotations got value. So we might end up doing it that way. So I'm sure that the board's okay with that. The board have anything to say? Any questions, answers, things they want to get off their chest? Plans for Christmas?
Everybody.
Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
That's great. My daughter come down from Nashville for Thanksgiving. She's up for E7 Master Sergeant
All right.
in the Air Force.
Wow.
For 10 years. And she said, she put on dress blues. She said, I barely got in these pants. She hadn't worn them in 4 years.
Wow.
But anyway, I wanted to share that. I'm proud of that young lady. She's
Yeah,
just
of course.
defending our country. She's phenomenal. Seek a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
move.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much for coming, everyone.
Thank you.
Hope you wish the best holiday possible.